بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلوات الله وسلامه على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد المصطفى وعلى آله ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وما بعد. This is lesson N037 and my primary objective of this lesson is to present to you some of the most frequently used prepositions, Huruf AlJarr in Quran. But before I speak about the prepositions or give you the examples of them, I wanted to introduce the concept of AlHuruf. Remember we said that parts of speech in the Arabic language are three: al-ismu, wal-fi'lu, wal-harfu. Excuse me, the ism, nouns and adverbs and pronouns and so on, and adjectives. And then there's al-fi'lu, verbs. And then there's al-huruf. Al-huruf is a very broad category, so I wanted you to understand that before I present Huruf AlJarr. Huruf AlJarr is just one kind of huruf, or Harf AlJarr, the plural is huruf. So I'll introduce the concept of what huruf are, give you the examples or a list of what the different kinds of huruf, and then present to you these examples of the most frequently used Huruf AlJarr preposition in Quran. An introduction to the root and meanings and the kinds of huruf that they are. I wrote this here in Arabic and I attempted to translate it and I just said, forget it. I'll explain it as I go along. So the word huruf is plural and the word harf is singular, and the root for harf is ha, ra, fa. The three original letters for the word harf come from the verb harafa, on the pattern of fa'ala. And many verbs use prepositions to make them transitive. So we have harafa an and harafa li. Yahrifu, harfan, yahrifu is the present tense. Harfan is the masdar, it's the action stripped of the subject and of time. فهو حارف, حارف اسم الفاعل, والمفعول محروف عنه. And the مفعول به, the object is محروف عنه أو له. حرف الشيء من وجهه صرفه وغيره. So the word حرف here we say if you were to do harf to a thing from its original form is to deflect it, صرفه, to deflect it, وغيره, or to change it. So that's the way the word harafa is used to deflect or change something from its original state or form. Or if you were to use the expression harafa anhu, which makes the verb in a transitive form, is to be inclined or deviate from something. Mala wa adala anhu, to be inclined against something or away from something is a better way to express that, or to turn away or distance yourself from something. That is harafa. Also, another usage of the word harafa, harafa li abnaihi kasaba lahum ma'ishahum bima yamtahinu min mihna. That harafa li abnaihi, he did harf for his children. He earned for them their living with whatever kind of profession that Allah has given to him. So that's a usage of the word harf, is a profession. That is the form of the verb of harafa, all of those meanings. To repeat them quickly, to deflect something, which is a transitive form of the verb, or to turn away or deflect from something makes it intransitive, or to earn for your family. Those are three meanings of the word harafa. On the second pattern of the trilateral verb, fa'ala, harrafa, harrafa yuharrifu tahrifan, فهو محرف والمفعول به محرف أو المفعول محرف. So the past tense is harrafa, the present tense yuharrifu. Tahrifan is the action, the noun stripped, or the verb stripped of the subject and the time. And the name of the doer, the subject is muharrif, and the object is muharraf. And when the word is on this pattern, harrafa shay'a amalahu, it is used as a transitive form because there's always an object. Harrafa shay'a, to do tahrif to something, amalahu, to change it or twist it. This word is used in Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the Jews. He says, يُحَرِّفُونَ الْكَلِمَ عَمَّ وَاضِعِهِ, that they do tahrif to the word, to words or speech or expressions from their original meanings. It's used for this meaning here. So I'll go ahead and read this meaning. حَرَّفَ الْكَلَامَ حَرَّفَهُ زَوَّرَهُ غَيَّرَهُ وَصَرَفَهُ عَنْ مَعَانِهِ. That they manipulate it, they change it, and they deflect it from its original meaning, or the person does. يُمِيلُونَ بِهِ عَنْ مَوَاضِعِهِ الَّتِي وَضَعَهُ اللَّهُ فِيهَا. That they twist it from its original meaning that Allah has ascribed to it. That is tahrif. So these are the usage of the word harf linguistically and the Arabic root. As for the various meanings that it's used for in Arabic, to give you some more, it's used to mean a dialect. So we say harfu kada wa kada, the dialect of such and such a people. With this meaning, recitations of Quran or various forms of recitations of Quran, it's used. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, نَزَلَ الْقُرْآنُ عَلَى سَبْعَةِ أَحْرُفٍ, that the Quran came down on 7 ahruf. Here, ahruf is the plural of harf. What is meant by that? Dialects. So it first came down according to the dialect of Quraysh, or Ahlul Hijaz, the people from Al-Hijaz, in which Mecca is a part of that. And that's the first form. And then it was difficult for people to read the Quran according to that dialect. Some people who came in from different parts of the Arabian Peninsula. Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the Quran in other dialects to make it easy for people. That's one of the usage of the word harf. Another is profession, which we mentioned before. Another is the edge or the side of something. So if I were to say harf of something, I mean the edge of it, a sword, for instance, or a knife. This meaning is used in Quran when Allah says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَا يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ, and there are people who worship Allah on harf, on the edge, meaning that they don't get deep into Islam, they just stay in the fringes. They worship Allah on the fringes, meaning at any moment they can leave. It's as if they have one foot in and one out. So they're barely in the edges. They don't get into the middle, into the thick of things, and get involved in Islam and study the deen and propagate the deen and teach the deen and defend the deen and support it. No, they're on the edges. That's in Surah Al-Hajj. Of course, another usage of the word harf is a letter, like we say harfu alif, or hamza, and ba, and ta, and sa. So that's another usage of the word harf. And then finally, the one that I really wanted to get to is the grammatical usage of the word harf, which is not ism or fi'al. الذي ليس باسم ولا فعل فهو حرف. Every word, يعني كل كلمة ليست باسم ولا فعل فهي حرف. Every word that is not an ism or a verb, then it must be a harf. That is the grammatical usage or the linguistic usage of the word harf. And that is the meaning that we are really looking at here today. Grammatically or linguistically, there are 31 kinds of huruf. And I created here a comprehensive list, just the Arabic and the translation, and I did a rough translation. These words are hard to translate because you have to actually explain them, the usage linguistically. So I just listed some of these huruf, and some of them we have already touched or studied, and some of them we will hopefully, inshallah, in the future. Number one, I'll just read them in Arabic and the translation, list them out without any examples or explanation. An-nafyu, which is to negate. Al-jawabu, which is a response to something. At-tafsiru, which is an explanation. So there are huruf that are what we call huruf, or huruf al-nafyi, or huruf al-jawab, or huruf al-tafsir. That's what we mean. حرف شرط or حروف الشرط, conditional حروف. التخصيص والتنديم, limiting or regretting. العرض, presentation. التنبيه, to draw attention to something. المصدرية, transforming a verb to a verbal noun. الاستقبالية, to المصدرية, this alif and lam shouldn't be there. That is a little boo-boo. Al-masdariyya, transforming a verb to a verbal noun. Al-istiqbaliyya, to make something future tense. At-tawkid, emphasis, to emphasize something. Al-istifham, interrogative, meaning to turn a sentence into a question. At-tamanni, to wish. At-tarajji wal-ishfaq, hoping. At-tashbihu, comparing. Al-silatu, connecting. At-ta'alilu, justification. Al-rad'u wa zajru, to admonish or warn. Al-lamat, various kinds of lam. Ta'u ta'nith as-sakinati, the open feminine ta. I should include the word here, feminine ta, with sukun. Ha'u sakta, the ha of stopping, normally placed at the ending of a word. Maliyah, halaka anni sultaniyah. I wanted to explain that. I just give an example there because that one sounds strange. At-talabu, which is request or requesting. At-tanweenu, that's known. An-nida, huruf al-nida, the address. Address here means to speak to someone, to talk to someone. Conjunction, conjunction. Al-atfu, conjunction. Nasb al-murari', to make the present tense verb mansub. Jazmuhu, making the present tense verb majzoom. Al-amru, command. So there are huruf al-amr, huruf that are used to make commands. Huruf al-nahi, forbidding or forbiddance. Al-mushabbahatu bil-fi'li. Al-mushabbahatu bil-fi'li. An-nasibatu lil-ismi. Ar-rafi'atu lil-khabari. That which resembles the verb and make the ism mansub and make the khabar marfu'. That, and I instead of translating it like that, I said inna and its sisters, inna wa akhawatuha. And al-mushabbahatu bilaysa ar-rafi'atu lism an-nasibati lil-khabar. And kana and its sister. And then finally, huruf AlJarr. And this is the one I really wanted to get to. Huruf AlJarr, the prepositions. So to summarize that quickly, the word harf or huruf is the plural of harf. Harf is used for many meanings in the Arabic language. This is a list of the meanings. And there are many different kinds. One of those meanings is grammatical huruf. As far as grammatical huruf go, there are 31 different kinds of huruf. The 31st, based on my list, this is in no specific order, is Huruf AlJarr, prepositions. And now we would look at prepositions, inshallah. So the number of Huruf AlJarr are 20 of them, according to most of the linguists or grammarians. I will just list these Huruf AlJarr, all 20 of them, without any examples or explanation. And then I will give you the, some more explanation on some of them, inshallah. Al-ba, that's B, like in Bismillah, and min. Al-ba'u wa min, wa ila, to. Min from, ila to. An can be used about or from. Wa ala, upon or on. Fi, in. Wal kafu, like. Al-lam, this lam here is used for many meanings. Waw al-qasam, the waw that is used for swearing, wallahi. Wa ta'uhu, ay ta'ul qasam, ta that is used for swearing also, tallahi. And mudh, since. Wa mundhu, mudh is a short form of mundhu, which means since. Wa rubba, and perhaps. And hatta, until. And khala, other than. And ada, other than. And hasha, except. And kai, for or justification. And mata, when. And this is according to Lughatu Hudayl. And also la'alla fi Lughati Uqayl is seen as a harf. And there's difference of opinion about mata and la'alla. So these are the 20 Huruf AlJarr. As for the linguistic meaning of AlJarr, what does the word AlJarr mean? So we saw what Huruf mean, or various meanings of Huruf. What does the word AlJarr means? So the word AlJarr comes from the original word jarra yajurru, jarran, to drag something, to drag something. So Huruf AlJarr are called Huruf AlJarr. These Huruf are called Jarr because they drag and attach, meaning associate, the meaning of the preceding verb to the noun that comes after, to the majrur. That is what it really means, literally, Huruf AlJarr. So you have katabtu bil qalami, katabtu, I wrote, bil qalami, with the pen. So the ba drags the meaning of kataba to the pen. So as if the kitaba is done with the pen. So the harf is used for linking, associating that action with the object. Of course, AlJarr also is used to mean another meaning in grammar here. So that's the technical meaning. Grammatically, what it means is to make the word after it majrur, which is generally to put a kasra, and of course we know there are many forms of jar, or many signs of jar. So that's the meaning of AlJarr. Meaning of each harf AlJarr. So if you were to take any harf AlJarr, for example, the ba, B, it has many meanings. In fact, ba has 13 different meanings. And inshallah, it's my intention to do a separate presentation on the meanings, all the meanings of the ba by itself. That's the meaning of ba. Inshallah, I would only look at, I would only give you 10 of the Huruf AlJarr that are more frequently used in Quran. And another, for example, min, for instance, is used for 8 meanings. 2 of the most popular are from or a part of. From mean al-ibtida'iyya and a part of at-tab'idiyya. We call it min al-ibtida'iyya or min at-tab'idiyya, and this is, both of those are used a lot in Quran. Point I want to make is that each harf AlJarr has many meanings. It is not my lesson today to give you the details of the meanings of each of them. Inshallah, I will do separate presentations on these, especially the ba. And that is necessary to understand Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim with all its potential meanings. So inshallah, when I do the tafsir of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which I will start doing soon, excuse me, as soon as I finish this entire grammar presentation, I will start doing a tahlil al-lughawi lil-Quran. And after doing التعوذ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, we will do بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, and we will start with the meanings of ba, or the ba, b, and at that point I will do a separate presentation with 13 meanings or potential meanings of the ba, b. But here in this list today, I would only give you 10 of the huruf, and I would just list one meaning for each of them. Partial list. This is just a partial list to introduce these Huruf AlJarr. Only one example with one meaning is given for each. So the idea of today's lessons is not to give you each Huruf AlJarr and all the meanings that it's used for in Quran with example for each. That's laborious and lengthy. All I wanted to do today is, we spoke so much about al-asma in al-idafa and al-ta'rif or al-ma'rifa and nakira, and then we did al-idafa and we did al-sifa and we did al-tawabi al-arba, such as one of them. Yeah, we did all of those with al-asma and we did al-af'al, but we really didn't look at al-huruf. So I just wanted to give you an introduction of al-huruf and then list of huruf al-jarr that are most frequently used in the Quran with one example, inshallah. So let's delve into that. So I have here a chart with 4 columns. The rightmost, Huruf AlJarr or Harf AlJarri, the preposition. I have an example in the second column from the right. Then the meaning of the ayah or part of the ayah. And then I did just a general explanation here. I said the prepositions, Huruf AlJarr, are all highlighted with the color blue. And the words after, that is the majroor, are all highlighted in the color magenta. The huruf are all fixed, mabni. So the analysis, al-i'rab al-huruf, is we say whenever you do the i'rab, we would say, for instance, min al-masjid al-harami, excuse me, min harfu jarrin mabniyun ala sukun. And here, because of a technicality, we put a fatha. That technicality is, if you put a sukun, you would notice that two sukuns would meet, the sukun on the noon and the sukun on the lam, because the hamzatul wasl is not pronounced. So we'll have a sukun, and that's not allowed in the Arabic language. We mentioned that many times. It is called iltiqa'u sakinain, the meeting of two sukun, and you must remove that. You must eliminate that, and the way we eliminate it is by doing tahrik of al-awwal, and in this case we put a fatha. Why you put a fatha? Well, there are many rules. This is not the place for that. All we wanted to say is that the harf min is mabni ala sukun. So we would say min harfu jarrin mabniyun ala sukuni mana'a min zuhurihi ishtighalu al-mahalli bil fathati li takhallusu min iltiqa'i sakinain. That min is structured or built with a sukun, but we cannot see that sukun because the place is occupied by a fatha to eliminate the meeting of two sukuns. So the huruf are all fixed mabniya, and the words after are all majroor or in the state of jar. So we'll say, for instance, al-masjidi here is majroor, wa alamatul jar al-kasra, so it's majroor. But if you were to take a word that is mabni, for instance, al-aqsa, but al-aqsa is sifa lil-masjid, but al-aqsa is mabniya because it's ism al-maqsur, that it's and al-asma al-maqsur are all mabniya. Al-aqsa is mabni, so we wouldn't say it's majroor, we would say fi mahall al-jarri, it's in the place of jar. Anyway, so let's go ahead and look at, I'll just list the harf, or say the harf, and give the example in the translation. Min al-masjid al-harami, from the Masjid al-Haram. And this is a part of an ayah, the starting of Surah Al-Isra, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Glory be to the one who took his slave by night for a journey from al-Masjid al-Haram, from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa." So this is that part. And that was talking about the Isra of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the journey by night. Ila, the next one is ila. Ila harfu jar mabniun ala sukun. Ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And by the way, this is the same ayah as this one. Min al-Masjid al-Harami ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa, to the Masjid al-Aqsa. عن حرف جر عن لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا. No soul shall take the place on behalf of any other soul. Or actually, no soul shall benefit any other soul. So no one will carry the burden of another. لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا. لا تجزي نفس. So no soul will suffice for another. And it has both meanings. This is a two-edged sword. It slices both ways. No one will be punished for someone else's crime, and no one would be rewarded for someone else's good. Yeah. So every soul will have to stand trial for itself. Nobody is going to go and take your place and stand trial for you. They can do shafa'ah, they can do intercession and beg on your behalf, but they cannot take your place. Ala, harfu jar ala. Here, khatam Allahu ala qulubihim wa ala sama'ihim. Allah has sealed, literally, on their hearts, or placed a seal on their hearts and on their hearing. Ala here means on. Fi qulubihim marad. In their hearts, there is a sickness. And by the way, this ayah, خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ, and also فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, are both describing the munafiqeen, the hypocrites. In their hearts is a sickness. And that sickness, of course, is hypocrisy, the sickness of hypocrisy, and nifaq, to give an outward appearance of one thing, but really conceal another within the heart. That's hypocrisy. As believers, if we really believe, we're supposed to believe within our hearts, show it or express it on our tongues, and show it with our limbs, or live accordingly and act accordingly, behave like believers. Point here, fi harfu jarrin. Al-ba'u, alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaybi, those who believe in the, I say absent, bil ghaybi. And what I meant by absent, people would normally translate it, those who believe in the unseen. But ghayb doesn't mean unseen. Ghaba means to be absent. Literally, ghaba an shay is to be absent. And what it means, ghaba an hawasina. We call it in ghayb because with respect to us, this is all subjective. So something is absent, relatively speaking. It's absent relative to us, but not to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With respect to Allah, there's no ghayb. لا يغيب عن الله سبحانه وتعالى شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. Nothing is absent from the vision and the knowledge and the hearing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we were to use the word senses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah knows and sees and hears everything. Whereas as far as we are concerned, with all the known senses that we have, and we have the five most popular senses, and of course there are many more than those. Science has identified more than 20 or 21 senses, that these things are absent from those senses, meaning we cannot detect them. That's what al-ghayb really means. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, they believe in the things that we cannot pick up with our normal senses. So we can't see, we can't hear, we can't taste, we can't touch any of these things or feel any of these things. Yet we believe in them. Al-imanu bil-ghayb. Also the kaf, مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا. Their likeness is like the likeness of the one who lit a fire. And by the way, this is a continuation of the description of the munafiqeen in their misguidance. Sometimes they get the heat from the fire and the light from the fire, and other times they don't. It's temporary for them. This analogy was used to present the temporary benefit that they derive from being a Muslim, but then lose it when they break their trust or promise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-lam, and there are many kinds of lam, many kinds of each of these huruf. This one here is to possess or belong. Alhamdulillah, all praises belong to Allah. I say all praise or all praises because here alif and lam for al-jins بمعنى الكل وال تفيد الكل في العموم. Here al means all. Belongs to, all that in the word or in the lam, and the word Allah is majroor. Waw al-qasam, the waw of swearing, wallahi, wattini waz-zaytun, by the fig and the olive. By meaning I swear by, uqsimu bi, I swear by. That's why it carries all of that meaning. Also the word the ta'ul qasam, قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين. These were the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, 9 of them, when they addressed their father Yaqub alayhi salam. And if you know the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, you know why I said 9. Whereas Yaqub alayhi salam had 12 sons, but only 9 of them spoke here. قالوا الواو هنا واو الجماعة ويرجع إلى 9 الإخوة التسعة الذين رجعوا إلى أبيهم يعقوب عليه السلام. The 9 brothers of Yusuf who returned to their father Yaqub and said to him, Tallahi, by Allah, tafta'u tadhkuru Yusuf, you continue or you will not cease to remember Yusuf until you become sick or you destroy yourself. So they were upset with their father that he hurt so much for the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these are the 10 most popular Huruf AlJarr used in the Quran.